is up, guys? It's me, Brian with HappyThumbsGaming, and we're back with more LEGO Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. This is the Resistance Camp Free Roam, which is part of the Ajan Kloss? Ajan Kloss? Oh boy, hopefully I'm getting that close to correct. As you can see, we only get 15 of the 17, and that's because we actually just completed the Reptile Revealer Challenge in this area, giving us 2 of those Kyber bricks. We're also going to get 7 character tokens, and of course a couple of ships. No data card found here, though, so a little light in that department. But here we are, we're finally getting our boots on the grind. And just a quick reminder, we do have quick links down below in the video description if you're in a hurry or specifically looking for an item. So we're going to go ahead and target a ship first. It actually happens to be called Secret Asian Man. That's right. It's actually a target practice, and it should be relevant to the old shooting galleries or target galleries scattered throughout, which happens to be an independent challenge that we'll take on in a full video at a later date. To be honest with you, I did not 100% confirm that this was part of the old challenge, but I am pretty sure it is. And I'm also a little frustrated since the last update, there are a ton of times where this game is supposed to display a character token on screen and let you know you've unlocked it, and it doesn't do it. Here's another one of those. So far, it's been pretty limited to space, but now it's going to be in a shooting gallery as well. If we complete this, which is a pretty easy task, we're going to get that BTANR2 Y-Wing. Why? Because why not? All right, basically my best advice for this particular shooting gallery is to go ahead and use a bounty hunter, again, as they have the triple burst. I also recommend sort of keeping your reticle or aiming area to the middle. And you also want to be on and off of the aim down sight, so the left trigger button. And the reason for that is because there's sort of an auto aim that locks onto these guys. And once it's locked on, you have like a 90% chance of the bullets actually firing and following those targets. Now, as you can see, not all of them hit their target, and there's definitely some that start to follow and maybe lose their heat seeking or whatever the case may be. But ultimately, you really only need 3,000 points. And with as bad as I am in this go here, I'm pretty confident that you guys will get it on your first go as well. Look at that. I got over 3,000 and no edits or cheeses happening here. Just me being really bad at aim. But I still succeed and get that gold, which reveals or rewards us with that ship token for the BTANR2 Y-Wing. And if you didn't notice, I actually had to create that one on my own. So it looked a little scrappy, I think. That was one of my worser ones. But all right, next up, we've got ourselves a Kyber brick, which is actually hiding over on a ledge over in, it's sort of on the south tip of the map when you're looking at the map, but it's actually in the upper right-hand corner if you're following along with us. Look at that, the age of Ajan Kloss. I don't know why. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Like the wordplay makes me feel like I've got it pretty close, right? The Secret Asian Man, right? Okay, that's a pretty popular song from back in the day. But anyways, we're going to move around the outer ledge here. And we're sort of right above where we spawned in, and there happens to be a glider point. So we're going to switch on over to our favorite scavenger and pull out our glider, which is going to allow us to yeet ourselves all the way out to that brick hanging out in the tree way up there. As soon as you snag it, it actually drops you all the way to the ground, and look at that. Welcome to Ajan Kloss. All right, good to go. A couple bricks under our belt. Let's go ahead and target another one right behind us in one of these caves, kind of behind a waterfall. Not kind of behind it, it's really behind a waterfall, but there's a pipe puzzle here. We'll be back for that in a hot second. We also have, well, this is where one of the reptiles was right there. In fact, there's another one back here. 2 of the reptiles from the Reptile Revealer Challenge were actually right here in this very spot. Whilst taking in the beauty of this inner cave, we're going to want to switch to a villain and toss one of those thermal detonators over there to break that silver box and get that silver soggy Kyber brick. Next up, we got ourselves a pluggable, also known as a fuse. We like to call those fuses fuse because of our Apex reference there. But we're going to go ahead and carry this bad boy all the way across the lower area here into the back corner, where we're going to toss it into a socket, and it's going to lift up an elevator, which is hiding up here. You can see as you get a little closer, it shows you that purple pluggable spot. And we'll go ahead and not drop the item here. We're going to go ahead and slap it into place. Insert fuse, and it should lift up the lift, giving us a Kyber brick. It's going to puke it out. All right, there we go. Lifting off is officially ours. Next up, we've got ourselves another Kyber brick. It's actually going to be kind of over along the water side. Now, this one is a little bit trickier, so it's a bit of a funny angle. Now, in my scouting run on the PS4, I actually made it up there on my first go. Not even kidding. I'm not exactly sure or remembered where I jumped from, but I got up there using the jetpack of Django. And eventually I find out that there is a spot that you can stand on a broken tree stump and jump up there and float all the way up top. There's got to be an easier way. If you're really struggling, go back over to that glider point up top or anywhere along that upper ridge and jump down with a glider. Then simply use your bounty hunter to take out that gold brick and get that Kyber cargo. All right, next up, you guessed it, another Kyber brick. This one is called the Tropical Smash, and it's going to be tucked inside another sort of cave-like area. Lots of zigging and zagging back and forth across this lower area. Luckily, it isn't very big, so it didn't take very long, but hopefully you guys are okay with my patterns here. Basically, this one's hiding in the very back of this long little corridor, and long little, you like that? And we're going to get to the back and simply use a breaker blaster. So pull out your favorite scavenger, get that breaker blaster out, and R2 or whatever icon it says for you, and booyakashow. Eventually the debris will disappear, and we'll be able to collect that Kyber brick. Tropical Smash. Oh, yeah. All right. You can see I couldn't switch characters back there. It was a little too much of a funny angle, I guess, for the game. Next up, we got another Kyber brick off to the far right of where we are. This one's pretty simple, too. It's in another little tucked-in area. This one we got to go up and around and use the glider and a switch in a certain amount of time in order to get this guy. Now, it's pretty simple. As long as you prepare first, you're going to want to switch to a scavenger character, pull out your glider, then flip the switch and get your, well, I guess a little leap of faith going on over here, because we're going to yeet, and hopefully we make yeet. And we do. Spoiler alert. Woohoo! All right, that might take you a time or two because it's a little bit of a... Like, you need momentum and to be dropping in order to land in that little spot. Luckily, I nailed it on my first go, though, so hopefully you do, too. Next up, hey, remember that water puzzle we saw earlier? We're going to head back for that now. Filtration Frustration. I got to be honest, the one in Twanel Village, I believe it was... That one was way tougher than this one is. This one, I don't know why. I literally picked up the pieces and put them in the right place on my first go on the PS4. And it ended up being the same here, too. I didn't have any messing around, no wrongsies and nothing. So, grab the left, or I guess it was a right elbow, put it over on the right-hand side. Grab the straight piece, put it right in front of where it came from. The old loop-de-doo can go right next to where you picked it up from as well. And, of course, we got this S shape. That's going to go sort of in the middle right piece. And then there's actually one more straight piece that we can slap in over here to complete the path. And we've got that Filtration Frustration Kyber brick. Look at that. It blows its top. And we'll go ahead and collect that bad boy. Thank you very much. Pretty easy. Like, honestly, I didn't use any videos and no help, no notes, no nothing. It just worked. I like it when it works. All right, next up, we got a Gonk droid here. You might remember this guy from earlier when we did the Reptile Revealer Challenge. There was actually a reptile in the water just to the right of him. But in this particular case, we actually have to go put out 3 different fires scattered throughout the area. 2 of them are in this lower area, and one of them is right kind of on the upper side, but also inside the lower area. I'll show you in a hot second. A hot second. Didn't even mean that, but it works. It works. All right, we'll go ahead and drive this guy right on over here. You're going to want to hop on by using the mount option, which should be triangle or Y, or I guess depending on which platform you're playing on, it might be a little different. But we're going to go ahead and put out the first fire by simply jumping into the Gonk spot. There's like a little receiving spot that we can go ahead and park him in. And over on the X-Wing, sort of right by where we spawned, there is another section where we can drop the Gonk into. It is covered up by some shrubbery, though, so you're going to have to hop off and remove it before hopping back on and parking him. Once you park him, though, he should put out that X-Wing. And then we should be able to run up along this wall here. And there is a pathway that takes us up. It's a little bit of a zigzag in itself. We're going to go zig and then zag. And then once we get to the top, we're actually going to hop off to the left. You can actually see the gonk point already. And you might have noticed that that tree's on fire. So we'll go ahead and hop in and put that bad boy out. And for doing just that, we're actually going to unlock the LC24 character token. And add it to our list. Thank you very much. We don't even have to go back or nothing. It just hooks it up. All right, we also get a new mission unlock. So, hey, there's a great way to do it. In fact, I'm just now seeing that zip line that takes you right over where that gold box was that I was struggling to get over. So you could glide, you could zip line, you could do... Oh, man, I wish I would have seen that earlier. Man, what a noob I feel like. Anyways, all right, another Kyber brick going to be targeted. This one's actually up top, though, sort of inside on the right side of the resistance camp, because we have kind of like a giant tunnel or cave-like area, and off to the side there's another little side cave, and up along the roof's edge there's gonna be a couple of handhelds that can be revealed by taking out the rocky formations. And we're just gonna simply need your favorite grappler, which for us, we know Django gets the job done, so we'll go ahead and jump up and float across with our jetpack to collect, wait for it, the tunnel treasure Kyber brick. Woo to the woo! All right, so we are officially over halfway on them Kyber bricks. Let's do a couple of characters. In fact, literally, let's do a couple. This is a 2-for-1, or a twofer as we like to call it. And you can see there we get AD4M as well as Deliso Prin. This one's called Snake Oil Salesdroid, and it requires us to leave the planet and go do some due diligence off in other areas. Fun fact for you guys, I actually had a different experience playing through on my PS4 as I did on my PS5. So basically, as you guys know, I always scout everything out as we take off to the Forbidden Valley on Pasana. Basically, I didn't find the snake oil in the same locations. There are 3 caves, and in my PS4 Go, I had to enter each of the caves. I found 3 bottles in each one. That is not how it works here. In fact, you'll see me at one point, I actually get the 3 bottles in the first cave, and I turn and I leave. But as soon as I leave, on my way out, I noticed that the arrow was actually guiding me back further into the cave. So I went right back in, and I ended up finding the other 6 bottles I needed inside. So this is likely going to be a little different for you guys, which is kind of different in this game. These collectibles have always been in basically the same place in LEGO games. There's that rare occasion where something will be sort of procedurally generated. I think that's what we've run into here. So, all right, we're officially down into the town here, and we found our guy, AD4M. And I think it's Adam, right? Is that what it's supposed to be? I mean, it's kind of a funky way. What do they call it? Leet speak, I think is how they. Maybe that's old. I don't know if that's still accurate. But anyways, Adam tells us to go back and hit up the caves, and we'll go find that stuff for him. So in order to do that, we have to make our way over to the taxi driver. He's actually going to take us from one side of the planet to the other. We got to go to the Pasana Plains. And once we arrive over here, like I said, there are 3 caves. Yours is likely going to be different. I only say that because I had a different experience myself. So we're going to make our way up and go over to the left. There is a person of contract, contact, I don't know what I'm saying here. No contract signed in the making of this video. Basically, he tells us inside these spooky caves, there are going to be people looking for the same thing you're looking for. Look at that. We got ourselves some pirates. A little bit of piratitude in here. Arr. We'll take our stuff back. That's our stuff. All right, so each one of these tasks inside, once you take out all the pirates, there is going to be a key keeper. You're going to need to take him down and swoop up the key, and that should give you access into the crate with your snake oil stuff. I guess that's what it is. So we got the first 3, and look, I am out of here. But look, the arrow was pointing behind me. And as I get outside, I'm like, wait a minute, there's arrows over there. So I think, now this is just a theory, I think that all 3 of these cave entrances are attached. I think if I follow them far enough down the rabbit hole, I think I would end up popping out one of the other sides. I don't know that for sure, because by the time I get all the snake oil, it says, hey, would you like to return? And I say yes. So I don't actually leave the building, but that's kind of my theory on this. I feel like it has led me deep into the cave here, but really I've just worked my way around and found a new entrance. Now, this is also a whoopsie-daisy. Oh, no, I guess it's not this one. It's the next one. The Keykeeper takes off and sort of gets stuck in the exit. Not this one, but in a future one. And it throws me for a loop. I actually leave the cave and pop out and pop back in. And I'm like, wait a minute, which way did he go? Which way did we go? All right, so we got 6 of the 9. And here we go. There's the Keykeeper right there. I'll go ahead and take him down. Maybe not. I don't know why I was blasting right through him. Either that or my aim was worse than I thought. But look, he's making his way towards the getaway. And I'm like, all right, there's got to be more guys around here somewheres. Nope, nowhere, nobody in sight. Then I'm like, all right, that one guy took off out the cave. Maybe I should go bounce out the cave myself and go follow him out. Right as I go to exit the cave, I notice him in sort of the glowy bits of the door. And I come right back in, and he's just standing there. Or she, I'm not sure which it is, but they are standing there. How about that? All right, all the way out and around, and I'll watch. I'm going to turn around and bail out the door now. Like, listen, I'm literally like, which way did they go? Which way did they go? And I probably could have / should have edited this out, and I thought about doing that even now. However, I had already pre-written the quick links and all that stuff down, and I didn't want to have to redo all of them. So I just left this in to show you guys that I, too, struggle from time to time finding things out. And listen, I even scouted this out and figured out where all the things were. I'm like, wait a minute, the bottles are in there. Where is the key? That was my Don Knotts impression. Look, as I'm walking out, I realize he's standing in the halo glow of the dough. I'm going to turn around and go right back inside and watch this. Pew, 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 pew. And I'm going to blast him, and then he's going to drop the key. But luckily for me, it respawns right back in front of the crate. So, woo to the who. Took longer than it should have, but we got it done, did. And hopefully you do, too. All right, all of those bottles collected. We're going to go ahead and zoom right back to old Deliso. Give him the old, oh, whoops, nope, sorry, wrong package. Here you go. Here's what you were after. You didn't want that robot, the droid. And look at that. We're kind of skip through most of the dialogue here just to kind of get through it, but you can see that there's a little bit of, you know, turmoil in this friendship, but they're working it out. They're working through it. And in our case, we're going to actually collect both AD4M, a.k.a. Adam, as well as Deliso Prin character tokens. So 2 and 3, did, which is pretty sweet. Making some good ground here, making some good ground. Off next is going to be a Kyber brick. There are a couple scattered throughout here. We weren't sure exactly what the best one was to choose. Oh yeah, we got to reassemble first. We're going to come right over here, though, and do a task called Tantively Optimistic. This one's kind of funny because I get sort of stuck here. You'll see in a second. You got to pick up these 3 power plugs and hook them up to the color they're associated with. So yellow to yellow, blue to blue, and orange to orange. Problem is, I struggle with the orange a little bit, or a lot of it. So here we go. It's definitely a funny angle, and like 3 or 4 times I feel like it should have slurped itself up and attached, but nope, swing and a miss, swing and a miss, swing and a miss, swing and a miss. And of course, eventually we hit that 3 hours later. Okay, so we're almost done, and Booyakasha, we got it. All right, hopefully we got some SpongeBob fans out there. I definitely feel like that was a needed task to be thrown in there. I'm not sure why that took so long. Again, it was a funny angle, but we got that Tantively Optimistic brick, and we are out of here. We're actually going to head to the back of the cave, and there's like this spot that goes up top, and it turns out there is a wall running spot over on the far left as well. And that wall run spot takes us out to some twirly poles, which will allow us to yeet out onto a vine. This is a funny angle, and I'll be totally honest. There was an edit there on that spin. I actually got it really dialed in. I feel like I probably could have gotten away with it and not even told you guys, but I fell off that. There was a couple of like 4 or 5 jumps that it took me to get from the twirly pole to the first vine. It's just a weird angle jumping off that. Make sure you drop down and get that purple inside the little lake there too, or the pond, if you will. Assuming you've purchased the Attract Studs upgrade, you should have just swooped it up like I did, just getting near it. All right, next up, we've got another pluggable. In fact, this time we got ourselves an NES controller. Time to get our Super Mario Brothers on. Now, actually, we're going to run over and swipe this card into this device, which is just going to open this little crate and give us a Kyber brick. This one's called Ray's Secure Stash. We'll go ahead and swipe it like it's hot. Swipe it like it's hot. Look at that. It opens it up and bleh, pukes out the brick. We'll take that. All right, we are out of here. Next up, we've got a character token. This guy, I'm sure, hopefully I'm saying his name right, or I will say, is it Klaud? Klaud? I guess it could go either way. Klaud is kind of a fun space-like or Star Wars-like name. Klaud, I don't know. Either way works. He looks like a giant, I don't know, it's like a worm. It reminds me of that show Larva on Netflix, with those little larvas that just fart all the time. It's pretty ridiculous, but also hilarious. Anyways, Lightning in a Bottle is the name of this mission. It really just tasks us with going to Exegol and pushing a big device around to capture some lightning. As you guys might remember, it's sort of a lightning-based planet, lots of electricity flowing around. So we're going to go ahead and travel there real quick. And again, this is free roam, so we have removed the actual travel load time here to kind of speed things up for the video purposes. Once we land, we're actually just going to turn around and go have a nice chat with Klaud. And he's going to tell us that we need to push this device around. And my best advice for this is to simply try to stay neutral. Stay right in the middle. It does take a little bit of momentum to get this thing going. And you'll see what I'm talking about when you start pushing it. You have to sort of build up a little speed, and then basically I get it near, and as soon as it zaps, I start moving towards the middle, because I know that if I'm in the middle, I'll have the best chance to get to any place on this designated path. Now, for me, all I had, I mean, it was simple. I had to do it 3 times. Now, on my PS4 Go, and actually I missed a couple. So, you know, if you don't get them on the first 3, it's okay. But, you know, just try to stay ahead of it. Try to stay neutral in the middle so you can move to whichever corner or spot you need to. Now, I thought that as soon as we talked to him, it was going to zap us back. But nope, you actually have to hop in and fly back. And once we get flown back, we have to have another conversation with him. But in order to get there, we have to protect him. And it turns out we get jumped a couple, 2-3 times on the way there. So protect the transport, take out all the baddies. Each time, I think there's like 8 or 10. It just zaps us out to the next location. So just take out the baddies, and away we go. You know, I get that this is like a thing that happens, like pirates trying to take away, you know, whatever, right? However, I feel like they've used this a lot. I feel like this whole action right here is pretty repetitive. It's not hard. It's just one of those time consumers or time wasters that I feel like we probably could have done without. Like, and if you notice too, we had 8 last time. This time it's 12. Like, although, if you notice, too, they sort of stack them all up in clumps this time. So, you know, again, there's seemingly more to do. So, I mean, there's 20 guys that I've had to take out in 2 sections here. And I think there's one more section after this. But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, I'm not really complaining. But, I mean, if we were fine-tuning this game, like, if they were asking me, hey, Brian, what could we do to make the game a little bit more enjoyable? I would tell them, like, hey, some of these things that you repeat over and over and over again, you could probably tame those down or just remove them, right? I mean, we got hundreds of hours that are already going into this game, but part of the reason it's hundreds and hundreds of hours is because of these little tasks that take forever. I don't know. I just feel like they're sort of redundant and maybe a little excessive. But here we are. We've officially made it back. Rant over. And, you know, let's jump into another rant. Why did this mission not slurp me back to the top where he is? Like, a lot of these missions literally save you the hassle of walking up here to kind of save some time, right? Not this one. We're going to make sure that you do a repetitive task a bunch, and then we're going to make you walk and run even more. Like that. All right. I've been negative for like the last 2 minutes. I'm going to stop being negative. Moving along. We're going to go up top and check this out. We got our Pew Pew on because he has provided ourselves with a video game. I mean, all right. So everything's all good now. It's all been worth it so we can play this game. In fact, if you hop on, it actually pukes out a bunch of studs when you win, lose, or draw. I'm not exactly sure what happens. You don't control anything or do anything. That's the sad part. It just sort of connects you to it. And then after like 10 seconds, it pukes out a bunch of studs. All right, speaking of this arcade machine here, we're going to use our favorite bounty hunter, Django, to go ahead and hop up on the boxes right behind it. We're going to target a ship token, which is over to our left. And in order to get it, we're going to have to jump up on this giant, I don't know what kind of ship this is. I should know the name of this thing, but I don't. We're going to trudge our way all the way to the back top. Now, we've been up here before with the reptile revealer, as there was a reptile right down to our left, almost right where I fell there. But we're not going to worry about that because we've already collected it. We just need to take out the gold on top. Once both devices have been removed, it actually queues up the jets on the back of this, whatever kind of ship this is, and it forces that token out to the ground. So we're going to drop down and grab it. Woo to the who. We got that Fortitude. That's right. So that's another one that I don't think it... Oh, no, it did. Okay, I lied. It does show me the token there. But we got both of the ships in this area, so we're feeling pretty good about that. We got like 3 more Kyber bricks, I think it is. And then we've got 3 more characters as well. So not quite home stretch, but getting close. Now, this one was a little bit of a whoop-de-woo. As it turns out, that guy, I guess you have to have the rumor active, and I had to buy it. So at the end of this video, it's one of the last tasks I do. In fact, I think it is the last task. And I end up buying the rumor for that, and then all of a sudden, buddy shows up. It's Beaumont. Beaumont Kin. All right, so here, we've got another Kyber brick over on the upper rim here, and there is a spot where we've got 4 switches. That's right. There's 4 pressure-sensitive switches. There's 3 of them sort of right next to the Y-wing on the ground, and then there's 1 up tucked around. Actually, I take that back. There's 2 on the ground next to the Y-wing, 1 on the actual Y-wing, and then 1 up around the corner up top. So we've got the 3 already, and we're just going to hop up top, and timer's a-ticking, Brian. Timer's a-ticking. All right, we had a little extra time. That's good. That's good. All right, opens the door, and we'll go ahead and collect another Kyber brick. All right, so now we only have 2 of those left. However, we do have a character token up here, and I feel like this is a reference to a rapper. There's a rapper named Obi Trice, and this dude's name is Wrobie Tyce. I don't know if there's a connection there or not. Like, Obi Trice is not like a very popular or well-known or mainstream name. So I feel like either A, somebody is related to or is close to him in some fashion or form, or I'm totally wrong, and that's not at all a reference. Maybe Wrobie Tyce was around forever, and Obi Trice made his name off of the star. I don't know. But I will suggest, you probably noticed there was an edit there, I'm going to suggest that you pull out a Jedi in order to do this. The reason being is there's twirly pulls. Now, scavengers and other characters can actually access the twirlies as well, but with the double jump being a little bit better with the Jedi, and I just feel like Jedi is the way to go. We'll hip it to the hoppa all the way non-stoppa, all the way over and around, more twirlies, and we got some vines coming up too. And they're kind of hidden, depending on how fast you move. Those animations for the completions of going through these things. And I want to show you too. Look how I miss it, and then I fall again. I'm super slow. This should give you guys confidence that you will have no problem getting that gold and getting that Wrobie Tyce character token. Look, I am struggling so bad to not only get up onto this ledge, but also to wall run. Ugh. And eventually I zip line down. And in fact, I mess up. How do you botch a zip line? Well, let me show you. You're going to go ahead and jump on, except for you don't jump on. You miss it. At this point, I thought for sure I had failed. But no, we actually still keep going, and we get it. Now, fun fact here, you do not have to get up onto that. So there's another way you can get up onto there. There's a vine. You can probably jump off and float over with a backpack. In my case, I barely make that circle, and the animation kicks, so I'm like, all right, I'm out of here. Then I can jump on the Y-wing and get that other one from under the net. You don't have to get on it. So, listen, I've killed a ton of time here, and I'm still, like, way ahead. You need 150. I'm at not even 100 yet. So, lots of time left. Don't panic. Just make sure you stay patient. Make your way all the way through. And eventually you're going to get to the final animation or the final ring that you go through, which is coming up. It's 2 more. Boing, across the plank. And... So we needed 150, and I got 112, and I was bad, right? I was not fast on any level. So notice it's not showing the old animation for the character token, so that's weird. Again, another one of those situations that it's supposed to show, but it does not, though. All right, we've got a brick down low. This one's called Glow with the Flow. It's kind of ironic. I was saying it's supposed to show. It's all sorts of rhyming happening here, not even intentionally. This one is actually tucked into another little secret area that I didn't even know existed until the very end of my scouting run of the PS4. Look, this is pretty hidden right here. And this one's pretty simple too. There's actually a bunch of targets that you need to take out, but there is a specific order in how you need to do it. Basically, look up for the starting point where there is only one wire on it. And you're going to want to shoot that, and then just follow the wires to the next target. Basically, it's just a game of connect the dots, la la la. But it's like a new version of it. So if you do it right, it'll actually start the power from the first one, move it all the way down to the last one, and open up that crate. And inside, we got that Glow with the Flow. Now, good news, we only have one more Kyber brick. And then we've got 2 more character tokens to reveal as well. Look at this. There's another little secret entrance over here. So this is at the end, opposite side of the waterfall where we got some collectibles earlier. This one is going to require the use of the Force and a little help from a protocol droid. I almost had a brain fart there. I mean, I sort of did for like a half a second, but I figured it out. We're going to split him in half, and then we're going to jump up about halfway up this ledge here, and then we're going to look down and use the Force. Doesn't matter if you grab the top or the bottom, although it doesn't help that the camera angle has totally gone bad on us, so it's broken. Basically, what you need to do is get the legs or the head over into this ledge, and luckily for me, the feet barely reached the ledge, and I was able to switch, drop down, grab that jungle disassemble, and then we'll reassemble as soon as we get there. But that's it for the Kyber bricks. Pretty simple stuff. Hopefully you'll have a better luck or not a funny angle at that spot back there. All right, next up, character token. This one actually has 5 tasks. As you can see, I've got 1 of 5 noted right above the name of it. So you're going to start off by talking to old R5 out here, and he's going to tell you we need to get these droids back in action. So we got to go do a couple of tasks. It's important to note that some of these tasks you will complete, but then you need to talk to the droid after that too. So I actually made it all the way down to the bottom and realized, wait a minute, I didn't actually talk to the buddies, and they didn't actually finish their stuff. So first one's going to be right along the old creek here, and once you talk to him, this basically says he wants to do some fishing. Luckily for us, there's a crate that wasn't there before, or a box. We'll go ahead and smash it and grab the fish out from inside of it, use the Force to attach it to the hook, and then he like throws something on, like I don't know what's going on, what's over his head, but make sure you talk to him. Now, I was a bad Brian, and I didn't show you the map on where it was before, so I'm going to get better about doing that as we move on with this mission. And I'm not sure if you've noticed or not. It actually, I turned my air conditioning off. It got really hot in here, stuffy, if you will. And my sinuses have completely changed. So I likely sound a little bit different than I did when this video started. I apologize if you've noticed that. I'm getting a little nasally, but we are almost done, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. But we got to go all the way up top, back up to the far corner where we got that first Kyber brick of the area. Right after we did the shooting gallery, up in this corner was a brick. Now look at this. There is 8R is chilling, catching some rays. We're going to put a stop to it, though. In fact, we're going to pull out a character with the Force, lift up this umbrella, and block his nice little sun tanning spot. He gets all, what? And jumps up, and then we give him one last little conversation. He takes off, and if you note, up in the corner, we now have 2 of 5 done did. All right, next up, we've got a couple more arrows. This one's pointing up and across. We're actually going to drop down into the corner of the lower right area by that X-Wing that was on fire, as there is another droid down there. Now, this dude is, this is the me of the droids. I say that because this dude tells a story. And this story goes on and on and on and on. So I'm just going to spam the button here. So you got to initiate conversation that says, hey, will you talk to me? Then you have to initiate conversation again, and then he tells the story. And look at the camera going in and out, in and out. I'm just spamming. It doesn't take that long, really, but he is quite the storyteller. So Brian Bot officially returned to his owner, and now we got to find 2 more. So one of them is actually over in the corner by where we had the lift. Remember where we put the fuse? Yeah, up in the tree, he's hanging out, quite literally. We'll go ahead and use the force or shoot him down with a blaster. He should drop it like it's hot, have a quick conversation, and he takes off and goes right back to where he needs to be. All right, now last but not least, this one is a little bit of a confuser. It's actually showing you that it's up top, and you could probably get lost going up and down the lift for a while. I know I did in my PS4 scouting run, but it turns out this guy is in the cave where we got our last Kyber brick, but he's all the way at the top, kind of tucked into a corner. In fact, when you talk to him, he says, "Oh, you found my hiding spot." So the directional waypoint marker kind of gives you this misdirection that it's up at the top, and then you get up at the top and it's like, nope, it's at the bottom. And then you're like, oh, there's got to be like a nook or a cranny in between on the left halfway down or something. There isn't. You got to run down around to the water and up and around inside the cave. And once you get all 5 of them, you got to return back to R5. And of course, once we do, he's going to hook us up with himself. That's right. He is officially signed himself away, and he is ours. That's right. No way, Toojay, officially complete. All right, last but not least, we got character token number 7. If you've been hanging out and following along, I bet you're feeling pretty good about this. And if you have been following along, you probably remember I mentioned we get up here, and Buddy isn't here. I don't know what Beaumont is out doing right now, but he should be chilling here waiting for us. Now, there is likely a person around the area with a rumor. In fact, there's one pretty close by. You might be able to talk to the rumor peeps and have him pop up. In my case, I'm going to go to the side missions menu and purchase the top one, which is Jedi text message. Now that it's available, he should be there, right? Wait a minute. Where is he? He ain't here. All right, so if you were standing right there and you did load the rumor, you got to give the game a chance to load in the assets. It knows that it should be there now, but it hasn't had a chance to actually load it in. So I'm going to go on a nice little trip. Oh, my favorite rocket ship. Just kidding. We run around the circle there, and it's not enough. Okay, so I take a nice little jaunt over to the waterfall, but I edited some of that out so you didn't have to watch it all. But here I am on the return. And basically, I just showed you how far I ran away for that to spawn and load in what's next. And look at that. Bo is there. Beaumont, that is. Jedi text message. So basically, he tells us that we need to do some stuffs. And then we're like, okay, we got to do some translating. So we got that queued. Now we got to turn and look at this machine to our left and actually activate it. Now, I think I jumped the gun and go straight for the bot, but nope. So I got to turn around and have a little word with this data log. Once the data log speaks, I just roll over to R2B1, and for $5,000, he's going to give me the solution. He tells me we need to fly through some asteroid shapes up in space, and so we're going to do that. We're actually going to go up and fly through circle, triangle, square, star. I think it's out there. Star, square. It says it right up in the top left, so don't listen to me. Just read what it says. And okay, so we're eventually in space now, and I'm going to just take off and leave the space battle. In fact, you don't get to see the next task until you're out of the space battle. So you don't even see where the stuff is. Now, luckily for me, I kind of know what the shapes look like, and there they are. They look like some giant cookie crumbles floating around near the planet there. And okay, so I'm officially out of the space battle. There are the shapes, basically the shapes that you find on a PlayStation controller. And you got to fly through the circle first. Booyakashow. You'll know, too, because it goes... Then you got to go through the triangle. Right? And then you've got the... What's next? What's next? It's the square! So, you know, no time frame here. Take your time. Just make sure you get the order correct. Now, once you fly through all 4 of them correctly, it spawns a Kyber brick. Now, as it turns out, you might have noticed that there are extra Kyber bricks in space. It shows 6. And I won't lie, at first glance, I thought for sure that was a display glitch and that something was wrong. But as it turns out, you actually get credit for a Kyber brick for doing that. So we now have 1 of the 6 for space. And all we'll need to do is get that Kyber comet. But Jedi text message is complete after making your way back to talk to Beaumont. And Beaumont kicks down with, you guessed it, himself. We got that Beaumont Kin character token. And guys and gals, that's going to wrap it up for, guess what? Resistance Camp Ajan Kloss officially done did. We got 17 Kyber bricks, both of those ships, and of course, all 7 of the character tokens as well. Hey guys, this has been an absolute hoop for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to check us out on social media, as well as HappyThumbsGaming.com. And as always, until next time, so